Welcome. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your life's journey, you are welcome here. We are so happy that you've chosen this channel. Oh, you're on this channel. They changed it. Okay. We know that you have so many options on Sunday morning, and that you choose to be here is something that we celebrate. We extend an especially warm welcome to our visitors and anyone who may be watching our service online for the first time. Please complete our Get in Touch online form by clicking the link below in our video description. We now invite everyone to greet each other in a way possibly can. Elbows, if you're here, and if you're joining us online, please say hi in the chat. See? Everybody shout. Thank you. And now, can you hear me? Okay. It's good to be together. And now Danny Novo has an announcement.
Hi, good morning. My name is Danny. My pronouns are they and them. I have been a member of this congregation for about 10 years, which is 3 ministers. I currently serve on the Board of Trustees. I have served on committees for membership and communications, and I've been involved as a parent in the religious education program. I have 2 boys who have taken advantage of RE's junior youth group, the Our Whole Lives sex education program, the coming of age program, and I play board games with other members every Wednesday, just down the hall. You can join us anytime on Wednesday. I am up here to ask you for money for the church. I have been on the other side of fundraisers enough to know that there's a formula I'm supposed to follow. I'm supposed to tell a joke and tell a heartwarming story and tell you what an amazing place this is. but it isn't perfect. This church is a messy compromise. It is hymns that I love and hymns with too much God in them for my taste. It is inspiring sermons and services with too much meditation. It is pledge drives and constant requests for volunteers. It is always just hanging on. It is too many empty rooms. It is not enough space. It is a bunch of people with some common organizing principles, but people who like their coffee differently than I do, who have their own opinions about how the church operates, who ebb and flow in their commitment to the church as their lives do. I love this church because I love the people in it, because the people in it are messy and vibrant and warm-hearted and argumentative and fundamentally inclusive and stubborn as hell. Almost 2 years ago, at the age of 49, I discovered that I am non-binary and trans-feminine and gay. If you need the Cliff's Notes on how that all goes together, I am embarrassingly happy to talk about it. You can find me later. Thank you. It was a lot, but also a breathtaking relief to finally understand myself. As I stared this awesome truth in the face, as I threw everything about my life up in the air, not knowing where it might land, I gave myself the grace to be a bit of a mess inside. As I talked to my family and came out to my friends, as I worried about how my life would change, about going back to school as a trans person, about road trips and their bathrooms, about the finality of surgery, I never doubted for a single moment that my church community would embrace me. I know there are some people who don't understand, and some who are not comfortable, and some who may be concerned for my wife or my kids or me. That's perfectly normal. But I never once worried that my community would not accept that I was who I said I was. When I worried about what the world might think, I knew that the people in this church would accept me. And not just me. I know the people in this church, you here in the sanctuary, and people who are watching online, are radically accepting of everyone because we know that being decent human beings doesn't mean we have to look alike or think alike, worship alike, or love alike. Our church may be messy, but all are welcome, whoever you are. SMUUCh is in trouble. Our membership is down after the pandemic. Our pledges have fallen below even the tightest budget. We've gotten by the last 2 years with federal paycheck assistance, but that won't be coming this year. The vast majority of our budget is staff salaries, and staff keep this place open. We need your support. People out there like me, like you, are looking for acceptance, and they need our support. We will never ask you to give more than you can. We will never turn anyone away because they cannot give. But we do ask, and I am asking, that you give what you are able, not because you love the church unconditionally, but because in spite of its flaws, it is a place of radical welcome, loving community, and striking ambition. We are messy people pulling together a messy community and making the world a radically better place just by being. Please give that this church might continue welcoming everyone, whoever they are. You can make your pledge on Realm, or if you're watching us online, there is a link below the video. Thank you.
It's announcement time. Our first announcement has to do with the fundraising auction, which opened for bidding Friday. Our auction is online. It's called No Foolin' in honor of April Fool's Day. It opened for bidding at noon on Friday, and bidding will close at noon next Friday. There are many fine items available for bid, But since we did not receive a large number of items that could be auctioned in a live event, the auction team has decided not to have a live auction event / party. But do not despair. We are setting our sights on November, which is our typical auction time. So November of this year, we will go back to our regular auction schedule. So keep your bidding coming online. Bid high, bid often. You can even bid on your phone. There is an app for our auction platform. If you'd like to find that app, see me after the service. The other announcement I have is that the food pantry could use canned chicken and other canned meats other than tuna. Harvesters, which we partner with for the food pantry, has not been able to supply much meat, fresh or canned, recently for our shoppers. So if you can get some canned, not tuna, meat, drop it off at the pantry Friday mornings from 10 to 11:30, or Tuesday afternoon from 1:30 to 5:30, or you can drop it in the bins that are on the across from the office. And now Mary Jeanne, our guest speaker, has another announcement.
I'm going to try to get on here. Good morning. Morning. My name is Mary Jeanne, and I have the honor of being the guest worship leader this morning. Some of you may know, and some of you may not have realized, that you walked into a service today where we're going to be discussing two themes. April's theme in our small group and in the RE religious rooms is awakening for the month of April. And Rev Rose also requested that we touch on addiction awareness in the month of April. I am also aware that we have listeners with us today of all ages, including my own 3 children, Lincoln, who is 8, Eliza, who is 6, and Amelia, who is 4, and they're all here in the second row. I want you to know that I have carefully crafted this service to honor all our listeners in this vulnerable topic. And I hope to honor and uphold our 7th UU principle, respect for the interdependent web of existence of which we are all a part. Thanks for being here today. And now I want to invite Miss Shannon Jansen, our young adult volunteer who works with our junior youth group, to come up for our ringing bowl. Thank you, Shannon. Our call to worship today comes from Frederick Gillis, and also this blue book. Spirit of community, in which we share and find strength and common purpose, we turn our minds and hearts towards one another, seeking to bring into our circle of concern all who need our love and support. Those who are ill, those who are in pain, either in body or in spirit, those who are lonely, those who have been wronged. I ask you now to call to heart and your mind someone you'd like to hold for this service. We are part of a web of life that makes us one with all humanity, one with all the universe. We are grateful for the miracle of consciousness, the consciousness that gives us the power to remember, to love, to care. Come, let us worship. Please rise as you are willing and able for hymn number 1053.
Can we have our chalice lighters come up this morning? Ken King and his daughter, and Avi and Nina. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humanity and friendship, and all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus shall we grow in another.
Our reading today is an excerpt from an online article called Beyond Drugs, the Universal Experience of Addiction. In it, you will hear the thoughts and wisdom of Dr. Gabor Mate. Dr. Mate is a family practice and palliative care physician. He is a best-selling author and speaker with an expertise in addiction, trauma, childhood development, and the relationship between stress and illness.
The universal experience of addiction. Public alarm around addiction is focused almost exclusively on drugs. For all the anguish around substance dependence, addiction cuts as much broader swath across our culture. Most addicted people use no drugs at all, and addiction cannot be understood if we restrict our vision of its substances to legal or illegal. Addiction is manifested in any behavior that a person craves, finds temporary relief or pleasure in, but suffers negative consequences because of, and yet has difficulty giving up. This definition is not restricted to drugs, but could encompass almost any human behavior, from sex to eating to shopping to gambling to extreme sports to TV, compulsive internet use. The list is endless. I'm not going to ask you what you were addicted to. I often say to people, nor when or for how long. Whatever your addictive focus, what did it offer you? What did you like about it? Turn page. What did it give you that you craved or liked so much? And universally, the answers are, it helped me escape emotional pain, helped me deal with stress, gave me peace of mind, a sense of connection with others, a sense of control. Such answers illuminate that the addiction is neither a choice nor a disease, but originates in a human being's desperate attempt to solve a problem, the problem of emotional pain, of overwhelming stress, of lost connection, a loss of control, a deep discomfort with the self. Hence my mantra, the question is not why the addiction, but why the pain.
I wanted to invite all of the kiddos and the youth and the teens to come up here in front for our Time for All Ages. There's lots of new faces in here today, which is awesome. You guys can come over and sit over here in front of Miss Patrice. Good morning, everyone. Awesome. Whoa, so many people. My name is Mary Jeanne. Good morning. Thank you. I am a teacher of big people. So not your age, but people who are in their 20s and their 30s. And when I teach them what I'm about to teach you guys, and you're going to learn from Patrice and this person over here, they've usually never heard before. So it's kind of a secret. And when you guys learn it now, you're gonna know more than some adults, and you're gonna know something that maybe you can teach the adults living in your home. So here is the secret. Did you guys know that our bodies are designed to feel good? Who knew that? Humans' bodies, nice. So that doesn't mean we feel good all the time. Certainly not for me. Sometimes I feel sad or angry or unhappy, and that's fine. That's totally healthy. That's great to feel all sorts of emotions. But sometimes we don't want to feel those hard emotions every day. So our bodies are designed in really awesome ways to make sure that we have an opportunity to feel good. And today, we are going to talk about this little yellow ball, and it's called dopamine. So this little yellow ball is dopamine, which is our body and our brain's natural feel-good chemical. So when this dopamine ball gets released in our brains, our bodies feel good. So there's lots of different things you can do to make your body feel good, and Patrice is going to help you all come up with some ideas because we have a very sad hippo here. So I'll let you meet them.
Thank you, Mary Jeanne. So we have a very special guest today. It's Frederick the hippopotamus. Has anybody ever met Frederick before? Yes, nice. Thank you, Miss Kaylin. So, Frederick, how are you doing today? I've missed you.
I'm okay.
Aw, Frederick, what's going on? You kind of sound sad.
I don't know. I'm just kind of feeling bored today. I don't know what to do.
I'm so sorry. Sometimes I feel bored and sad and don't know what to do either. So we're going to talk about things that we can do to make ourselves happy and, get out of that sadness, or to just make ourselves not bored anymore. So what I have here is our special symbolic dopamine chemicals. So I'm going to give people them, and we're going to feed them to Frederick so we can make him happier. So if you have any ideas that can maybe make him feel better, ooh, nice. Or if you have some ideas that make you feel better, how about you come up and feed Frederick and tell me what it is, and we'll share it with everybody. Okay, who wants to go first? Come on up, Lucas. So what is it that makes you feel good or happy?
Climbing trees.
Ooh, climbing trees. Can you feed Frederick? Let's see. How do you feel, Frederick, about climbing a tree?
Oh, that's a new thing for me. I've never tried to do that before, but it is nice to just be a little bit outside and feel the fresh air for a moment.
Thank you, Lucas. That's awesome. I think we're making him a little happier. Who wants to share anything else? Come on, Andre, up here. So trees, going outside, like Frederick said, it's nice, nice scenery, right? Change of scenery. What do you want to say or share with Frederick and everybody that makes you happy or can help Frederick?
Sleeping with dogs.
Sleeping with dogs. Oh, I wonder if a hippopotamus has a dog. Do you want to feed your hippopotamus? Feed him. So, what do you think, Frederick? Would you like to sleep with a dog?
They seem a little scared of me.
I wonder why. Anybody else have anything else they want to share? Come on up here. Do you have a little symbolic? You do? Okay, what do you want to share? What makes you happy?
Building a fort.
Building a fort. That one's awesome. Can we feed Frederick?
Oh, I actually love building forts.
Well, I really appreciate that you all are saying so much stuff outside. Thank you, Nina. I appreciate you. Do we have anything else that you guys do? What if it's like a rainy day or something? Come up here. Parsley, you want to share? Oh, you already have one. Okay. No, you don't. You want to share what you want to make hippopotamus Frederick happy?
A kitten?
Yeah. Okay, feed him. So what do you want to share? Okay, you like to watch a TV show? What's it? Oh, a kitten. Okay, kittens are so cute. Yes. That's awesome. So petting cats. Let's see what the hippopotamus thinks about that.
I actually like to pretend to be a kitten.
Can we hear your meow?
Meow.
All right, does anybody else have anything they want to share that has not gone yet? We'll see Cannon. You guys have so many amazing ideas. Hopefully this helps our Frederick.
Drawing or painting.
Ooh, drawing and painting. I love that. All right, Katie, I think we'll make you the last one, if that's okay. I love that you all just didn't do outside stuff, but there's stuff to do indoors, too. Okay, Joy, you can come to it. What would you like to share? What makes you happy?
Screaming at a cat. What? Screaming at a cat.
Screaming at a cat?
Yes.
Okay, sometimes you just gotta yell, right? It's just gotta, go ahead. Go ahead, let's see if we can make Frederick yell.
Ah, you cat! Ah!
All right, Joy, oh my God, you have a squirrel. Okay, all right, thank you. So Joy, what makes you happy?
Watching TV.
Oh my God, thank you so much for saying that, Joy. I was trying to make you all say that. Okay, good job.
He bit me.
Oh, Frederick, you bit her. Frederick. Frederick. Frederick, we can watch some TV, right?
What'd you say?
So we can totally watch some TV, but it's all about moderation, right? We don't want to be on, we don't want to be on our technology or watching TV for 6 hours a day, right? It might feel good right then, but it doesn't last like if we go outside and take a walk, and you can see that Frederick's not paying attention.
Sorry. I like watching YouTube videos of people playing Hungry Hungry Hippos.
Well, let's think of something that Frederick can do that's not on technology. Andre? Oh. Yes, that's true. Go ahead, Miles. Do you want to share?
What? Reading a book.
Oh, okay, so maybe we can take away our screen. Yes, and read a book like Miles loves to do. Okay, we'll have one more for Lucas. What do you do?
How about playing Hungry Hippo?
Oh, yes. Oh, my gosh, I love that everyone wants to participate.
Bird watching.
Ooh, bird watching.
Committing arson.
Okay, nobody listened to Joy, but this counts, okay? Lighting our chalice. That was a beautiful way to end our thing. But we wanted to share how important it is to go outside, do things that are self-care, right? And you guys listed so many. And I know we love to go to and watch TV. Can we listen real quick? Okay. So I know we love to watch TV, but there's so many other things that we can do that'll make you feel good for longer and better. So even just taking a walk with Frederick, which I asked to do earlier, we're just releasing so many endorphins.
I also have one that I learned from you guys, and that's just being in community with all of you. Spending time with you guys makes me feel good too. So thank you.
Aw, thank you, Frederick. You sound even not as bored as you were earlier.
Awesome. You guys did so well. You did better than my 30-year-old students. So I really appreciate you. And I'm going to give you your own little feel-good yellow balls, pom-poms, and you're going to take these home, and you're going to come up with 3 ways that your body feels good, and you're going to share that with the adults in your home so you guys can work together on those days when you're not feeling your best. Okay? So everyone come on up and take a little baggie and go back to your seats.
Let's all take a deep breath, embrace our dopamine, so we all feel good. This is a time in our order of service when we draw to heart and mind those in our midst who are suffering and those who feel the sweet relief of our burdens easing. We give our love to those untangling themselves from relationships that no longer serve them. We grieve for loss of energy and time chronic illness takes on the body and mind, and our hearts go out to all who are struggling to make ends meet. We extend our gratitude to people who make caring for children and their primary spiritual practice, and we join in wonder with all people who are bravely facing their final days. As always, we rejoice over the exquisite beauty in this world, as small or life-changing as each piece of beauty may be. So now we ask if you would like to come up and say in 2 or 3 sentences, share with us, share with us your profound sorrow or happiness, and light a candle.
I have 2 really quick. Some of my friends here have been wondering where I've been because I've been gone for almost a month. And the truth of the matter is I was providing emotional support to friends and people I consider family in Ukraine and in that area. And I can happily say that about 30 people and their children that I was helping make sure that they made it to the West and outside of Ukraine have made it. One is no longer online, but we're hoping that he'll be coming back online, and one other is looking for a job in the western part of Ukraine. He is doing really well. And the next candle I am lighting is another thank you and remembrance to Richard Warren Pease, who is pretty much my favorite father in life. I should have been here to say thank you for our 4-year anniversary as being grandfather or father and daughter-granddaughter relationship, since he took me in through SMUUCh when I was homeless and left to be in my cold apartment I was left behind in on a cold, icy February. Thank you, Grandpa.
Hi, my name is Joy. Yesterday was my 14th birthday.
My name is Jennifer Sagan. I am also lighting a candle for Joy's 14th birthday. Yesterday was her birthday. We had a good party with all her family and friends. It's the first time in 2 years now, of course, that we've been able to have an in-person party, and it was wonderful.
We're Kent and Yvonne, and some really good friends of ours from Salina, where we used to live, Patrice and David Leverance. He was diagnosed with glioblastoma a year ago, and through radiation and chemo, he was doing fairly well. Last week was his 1-year anniversary, and they discovered an inoperable tumor, and so they are on now a different path. And he was the founder of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship in Salina, of which Kent and I became founding members. So they're very special to us and very special to Salina, as the fellowship there continues to be strong and supportive.
Hello, my name is Curtis, and I am an addict. I did not know that that was going to be a part of April. So I just would like to echo the sentiment that any 12-stepper with any length of time in recovery knows that the hard part, the easy part's quitting using. The hard part is living life on life's terms without drugs in their life. And so I light a candle of hope for the addict who might still be suffering either inside this room or outside. But most importantly, I'd also like to light a candle of joy for my daughter who recently went and faced challenges and had a speech competition for FFA in Lacine. It's like you pass a bunch of cows, and eventually there's a building somewhere. And despite all the challenges, she took second and is now going to state for her speech about the plight of black farmers in America. So
I'm Alex Knapp, and since the Time for All Ages is all about dopamine, this is a candle of gratitude to the Jayhawks for not repeating the 2018 loss to Villanova.
This is a candle of sorrow for two of my coworkers. One, a really good friend of mine, lost their job this week in retaliation for our store unionizing. But also for hope for going forward, what this union will do for us.
This is going to be a candle of sorrow for all of my loved ones who don't seem to recognize how their habits are affecting them.
I relight a candle for all that we hold in our hearts and the words that are not spoken.
We had to do a joys and sorrows for the kiddos, of course. So if we have any kiddos any age who would like to come up and share something that makes them happy, something that makes them sad, or you can just drop a pretty little gem in the water. So anybody just want to drop a gem to start? Come on up. You can totally come up. And if you have anything you want to share, you can share with me and I'll share with the congregation. Ooh, okay. Mia, do you want to share that?
Playing tag outside.
Yes, what a good one. All right, thank you. You want to share yours? Okay. Lucas?
Climbing a high tree.
Ooh, nice. All right. Thank you. Anything sad or happy?
Sleeping with Gina because he licks me and lets me sleep on her.
All right, Lincoln, do you want to share? No. Okay. That's fine. We're making our bowl really colorful. Do you want to share anything, Amelia? Okay, go ahead. Put one in there. Parsley, do you have anything you want to share? Okay, go ahead. Put one in there. We're running out. Do you want to share?
I have a concert for band soon, and I'm excited.
Yay! When's your concert?
April 19th.
Oh, yay! What do you play?
The trumpet.
Ooh, the trumpet. Fancy. Okay. We have a couple more. Do you want to share or you just want to drop it in? Okay, go
Playing Roblox with my friends.
ahead. Ooh, Roblox. Nice. Okay.
Sleeping with the dog.
Ooh, I love that. You guys are so fun. You don't have to. Sorry, I stole some because we needed more. Okay. Thank you. You want to share, Ben?
Playing Minecraft.
Oh, that's a good one. Playing Minecraft. Katie, any joys or sorrows?
Friending my school friends on Roblox.
Oh, okay. You're making new friends. Good one. Even Frederick brought that up. Being in community. Hi, Bodie.
A gem for my first job.
Woo! First job. What is it?
I'm gonna be a pool cashier.
Ooh, a pool cashier. Nice. Hopefully you get a tan. Nice. Miss Kaylin?
I wanted to do a joy for the attendance for our RE recently. We've had very high attendance in youth group and in all of our classes, and I'm very glad that everyone's coming and learning with us. So I hope to keep that up.
Thank you, Miss Kaylin. You want to drop the last gem? Thank you. Okay.
Fast forward. Today, we will practice acknowledging the similarities between ourselves and others. Often, we focus on differences, but realizing that even a person who seems very different from us is, in a fundamental way, just like us. This can be the real basis of connection. Connection with people we don't know very well, people with whom we're in conflict, or even people that we see as an enemy. It is possible to develop a sense of connection and compassion by coming to feel our shared sense of experience as human beings. This meditation practice, called Just Like Me, can help overcome that sense of difference and distrust by opening channels of compassion. Allow yourself to take a deep breath in and a big deep breath out. And as you breathe out, allow a sense of releasing any tension that you are holding in your body. As you listen to the remainder of our meditation, I want you to scan through your body, noticing sensations or emotions, inviting a sense of spaciousness and acceptance for whatever you are experiencing right now.
I know lots of people who feel their knees start to tremble and their tongues start to tie when they speak in front of a crowd, just like me.
I know many people have trouble with meeting new people and being on time, just like me.
I don't feel alone at SMUUCh because people here care for each other, and they're always there when you need them, just like me.
I know many people feel fulfilled and valued when they share their craft with the world, just like me.
I know that lots of other people have a voice in their head telling them that they are not good enough and are an imposter, just like me.
I know all people on some level need to be seen and heard and deeply known, just like me. As we move to the close of this meditation, return your awareness to your breath, breathing in, breathing out, present, alive, connected, right here, right now. And now, please remain seated for our meditative hymn 402. Late last year, Rev Rose had a meeting to share the 2022 monthly service themes. She added that in April, she tries to center a worship service around addiction and substance use. While I was sitting in her office with the other worship associates, this month, April, with its themes of awakening and addiction, called out to me in a really loud way. However, that loud call came with a lot of nerves and fear. I was doing my best to avoid eye contact with Rev Rose for fear that she would see me and assign it to me. But eventually, with the encouragement of my fellow worship associates, I was brave enough to offer that leading a service in April seemed like an undeniably good fit for me. As some of you may know, because I have mentioned it here before, I am a certified anesthesiologist assistant. That means I work in an operating room, putting patients to sleep for surgery and waking them back up when it's done. My dad and my brother are also certified anesthesiologist assistants, so this profession runs deep in my blood. I have a passion and commitment to my profession, and in a very real way, what happens within my professional community happens to me and my family. This leads me to the other part of this month's theme that I feel very connected to: addiction awareness. It might come as a surprise to you, or it might seem very obvious, but the medical specialty of anesthesia has the highest rates of addiction amongst all medical specialties. This statistic includes all the types of providers who give anesthesia, meaning the doctors who give anesthesia, the CRNAs, the nurses who give anesthesia, and CAAs who give anesthesia. That's me. It has been suggested that 15 to 25% of anesthesia providers are addicted to drugs or alcohol. The addiction rates of other medical specialties seem to align more with the addiction rates of the general population, which is closer to 8%, but not for me and not for my profession. There has been a lot of research as to the reasons why my professional community is at the highest risk, from the personality traits of people who are drawn to the specialty of anesthesia, to the open access to the drugs themselves that we have. These truths, combined with the fear of losing our livelihood, our income, our position of trust, has led my anesthesia community, my family, to largely ignore our risks or hide them in shame. Like most stigmatized issues, such as addiction, once you are in relationship with something or someone on the inside of the issue, it begins to feel more important to you and harder to ignore. And that feeling of having my eyes opened to the magnitude of the substance use rates within my profession occurred around the summer of 2018. It was around that time that I found myself lost down an internet rabbit hole over our national opioid epidemic. Just by accident, I had heard some incredibly vulnerable and moving first-person addiction stories, and I kept seeking resources to hear more and more. I felt deeply connected to something in their stories, but I couldn't pinpoint what it was exactly. Lost in this internet rabbit hole, I was learning about the full timeline of our national opioid epidemic, which surprisingly started way, way back in the Civil War era with rampant morphine addiction, then transitions in the 1970s and 80s to heroin addiction, and more recently in the 1990s and early 2000s, addiction to a new prescription painkiller called OxyContin skyrocketed. When the people addicted to OxyContin could no longer get their prescription filled, or ran out of money or means to fuel their addiction, they were forced to turn to a much cheaper and more accessible painkiller, heroin. Then, around 2019, right when I had become super invested in this national opioid epidemic story, I began to hear reports of sudden, unexpected overdose deaths being reported in the media. Public health officials were pinning most of the blame for this sudden onset of death and dying on one drug, unfamiliar to most people, but not to me. The drug is called fentanyl. Fentanyl is a very powerful prescription pain reliever, 100 times stronger than morphine, 150 times stronger than OxyContin, and twice as strong as heroin. And it is a drug that I give every single day in the operating room. I happen to have unlimited access to this drug. It is also the drug that has infiltrated the OxyContin and heroin markets and is attributed with the nearly 30% increase in drug-related overdoses in the US. Fentanyl is the drug that is currently killing Americans at a faster rate than car crashes, gun violence, and HIV combined when they were at their heights. It was at this point in my rabbit hole deep dive that I understood that guttural sense of connection that I had been feeling at the beginning of my story. I was just like them. They were just like me. We, meaning my anesthesia community and the addicts who I had initially grouped as those people over there, were all struggling with an addiction to the same very powerful and extremely deadly pain medicine, fentanyl. I understood deep in my body that this national opioid epidemic, this fentanyl crisis, wasn't just causing rampant addiction and death to people out there, but it is the exact issue happening within my own professional community. People who I know are just like me. All of my biased cultural conditioning of what type of person becomes an addict, what they look like, and how they behave came crashing down around me. I knew that I was just as much a part of the addiction community as any person I had ever suspected panhandling on the exit ramps or pushing a shopping cart on the streets at night. If anything, I am the more typical presentation of an addict because, as I now understand it, addiction is within all of us. We are all carrying around the potential to become an addict because we all, as humans, are trying to feel relief from our pain. Alongside my just like me realization, and now looking back, I realize likely fueled by it, I had begun to examine how my own childhood trauma and shame had hurt me, made me shrink and hide, or made me reach for perfect. It made me work really hard, never feeling like enough. It made me obsessively want a clean house. And it gave me a deep down pain that felt never ending. As I was facing my own shame monster and letting the pain it caused come out into the light, I was beginning to feel a freedom like I had never felt before. I felt free to talk about the things that caused me pain, free to empathize in ways just inaccessible before, free to be vulnerable. I was becoming freed from the chains of my shame. Releasing my shame had freed me from so much pain, and I knew I wanted that same freedom for my professional community, my brother, my dad, my friends. Even though I didn't know what I would do with this deep personal awakening exactly, I started really educating myself, not just internet rabbit holes and deep dives, but reading research papers and journal articles, making phone calls to experts, and listening to a whole bunch of podcasts. Then in the summer of 2019, I was given the opportunity to redesign an existing wellness course in the UMKC Masters of Science in Anesthesia program. That's the degree you get when you become one of my professional colleagues. The UMKC program after one tragic suicide, one near-fatal overdose, and one arrest due to drug diversion by former students, had identified that they were not meeting the educational and perhaps emotional needs of our students. The program director wanted a new course that focused specifically on substance use from within our profession. This program director was a mentor of mine, and she knew that I was looking to become more involved in the school. After she proposed the new project to me and asked if I wanted to be involved, my heart did a cartwheel in my chest towards something that was so obviously meant for me. I gave her request an emphatic yes, and jumped at the chance to put my new awakening into service for my beloved anesthesia community. But I had never taught in the classroom like this before, and understanding addiction is not a particularly textbook type of subject. We could not simply read chapters 4 through 10, take a few quizzes, and be done. I had had my own awakening around the topic, but I wasn't sure how I could guide a class of 15, 20-somethings to the same understanding that had taken me 13 years and lots of work to come to. I knew we would have to discuss emotions and traumas and pain, and I would have to help my students embrace their own vulnerabilities. Certainly, this wouldn't be like any class like I had taken in my own schooling 15 years prior. I decided I needed to start with the science of addiction and the research. Coming initially at type A science-minded graduate students with essays on feelings instinctually felt like the wrong first move. So I started with dopamine and our human biology. Just as Frederick, wherever he may be, the sad hippo, and Patrice, depicted in The Time for All Ages, our human brains have developed over centuries to seek pleasure and avoid pain. And it is best if that pleasurable experience happens as fast as possible and burns the fewest calories. This truth is an inescapable part of who we are as human beings, and satisfying our deep desire to feel good is on a chemical level harder for some people than others. Some of us, for a variety of genetic, personal, and environmental reasons, have less dopamine kicking around in our brains than others. Some of the most common reasons for lower amounts of our natural feel-good chemical are a history of anxiety, perfectionism, growing up amidst childhood trauma, and growing up in poverty. So it is physically harder for some of us to feel good or even find what makes us feel good in the first place. Tragically, some of us have only ever felt good when using drugs or alcohol. In my class, I have seen how starting with the science opens my students' minds and often hearts to the idea that addiction is a diagnosable brain disease, not one single choice or even a series of bad decisions. It is so much more complex than that. From this open gate, I ask my students, and now you, to revisit their own behaviors, habits, and memories. How do you feel when you first check your phone in the morning? Or better yet, how do you feel when you're trying to not check your phone? What does your body experience when you have that first glass of wine after a long, hard day? When our brains get a taste of something that makes us feel good, it is really hard to let it go, and most everyone can relate to that. It is around this time in the course that someone usually brings up a story of addiction in their own family or social circle. They have seen a friend overdose, a parent struggle towards sobriety, or they share their own struggles with anxiety, perfectionism, exercise, or alcohol. Sharing that first story creates a collective sigh of relief. And almost everyone ends up sharing a story of their own. Addiction stories, as it turns out, are in almost every family, every friend group, every church group, because addiction is a part of our collective human experience. Addiction is the result of our human desire to seek pleasure and avoid pain. Finding the source of that pain is not the work I do in my class, but I do open my students to the idea that their unexamined pain could unknowingly be the decision maker in their life. It is a powerful and unnerving awakening, and I help them walk towards it with compassion. Finally, I bring the research that correlates how simply being an anesthesia provider creates even more risks and susceptibilities to substance use, more so than the general public. Not because we are inherently flawed as a profession, but because we all are susceptible as humans. And then we, as anesthesia providers, are given the drugs in our hands every day. My job just makes addiction easier. What I really hope to impart with you all today, whom I know are not all anesthesia providers, is that through my teaching, I have learned that my students' most predictive risk factors for addiction have little to do with their proximity to the drugs themselves or how many control mechanisms are in place around our delivery of fentanyl. The risk factors that my students are most impacted by are things essential to the one thing we all have in common, being human. Addiction is within all of us. Whether you are an anesthesia professional or a teacher or a grandma or a 13-year-old just trying to make it through junior high. We are all human, we all experience pain, and we all deserve to feel relief from our pain. As a nation, I don't think we're going to find a true path forward out of our national opioid crisis until we all recognize ourselves as within the addiction community and not separate from it. This is the same message I share with my students as we journey towards our profession's hope of lowering our risk of addiction. While I was writing this sermon, I got the devastating call that one of my anesthesia mentors had just been discovered abusing fentanyl and was entering an 8-week inpatient rehab. It happened again. And it will keep happening until we as a profession and us as a nation move from blaming and shaming addicts to asking them, what happened to you? And why are you hurting? Certainly, those are the questions we would want to be asked when and if we are faced with this disease. I ask you to awaken to the knowledge that we, I, you, me, are at risk of addiction. Many of us are already addicted to something: TV, Instagram, calorie counting, alcohol. My hope is to wake up my profession, and now perhaps you, my beloved church community, to the idea that addiction is not a moral failure or a disease of the weak, but a natural human reaction to the troubled world around and within us. Through my research, there is a point of hope that comes up again and again. It is the power of connection to heal addiction. I urge you to explore the idea that an antidote to this disease could be something as simple and as powerful as human connection. A community where you are safe to explore big questions like, what happened to me? Why am I hurting? Why do I do what I do? And think what I think. I have intentionally designed spaces within my class to allow for such conversations. And the research shows that building human connections is a true path out of shame and stigma. I have found overwhelmingly that my students want to share themselves. They want to be seen and heard and known. And here is the good news. The good news is that you too have communities within this church that allow for that exact exploration. The communities I am referring to are the Soul Matters Deep Listening groups, our RE Religious Education community, and also through the simple act of showing up here Sunday morning to this sacred space. Once we can accept our place in the addiction community, just as I urge my students to accept, the journey to identify and heal the pain that keeps us vulnerable can begin. Thank you. And now I invite Moth Sitzman to come up and introduce our Donate the Plate for the month of April.
Last month in March, it was the SMUUCh's children and youth's turn to find a meaningful Donate the Plate organization to offer up at our whole church service. The entire religious education program voted on 3 different organizations so we could help with supplying relief to Ukraine. We wanted to find a way to help after we learned and discussed the war between Russia and Ukraine in religious education. This is how we can do that, through action and support. The one organization with the most votes was the U.S. for UNHCR, the UN Refugee Agency. The UNHCR, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, is a UN agency mandated to aid and protect refugees, forcibly displaced communities, and stateless people, and to assist in their voluntary repatriation, local integration, or resettlement to a third country. Millions of people, mostly women and children, have been forced to flee Ukraine. They are sheltering in underground train stations, walking hundreds of miles and leaving behind everything they've ever known. Voting for this organization during Women's History Month was not lost on us, as we always need to support women. USA for UNHCR helps and protects refugees and people displaced by violence, conflict, and persecution. Supporting UNHCR, the UN Refugee Agency, and its partners, your donation provides life-saving essentials, including shelter, water, food, safety, and protection. Resources are stretched thin. Your compassionate donation is urgently needed today to help protect and restore lives in Ukraine, where families have been displaced. In moments of urgent crisis, donations keep UNHCR on the ground, providing emergency shelter and life-saving aid, including food, shelter, medicine, and clean water. And your donation also provides for families after the crisis passes, ensuring that they have the necessary resources and support as they work tirelessly to rebuild their lives. Thank you.
I've been climbing up this hill. My heart is heavy and the air is still. All my worries, how long will they last? I don't know how much more I can stand. Will I ever be enough? Will I ever feel loved? So close to giving up. Hey, hey, future me. I hope the things that hold me down will one day set you free. Hey, hey, future me. Don't forget my trouble set you on the path to where you gotta be. Will it be worth it? All the hurt, all this digging so deep in the dirt. I can't believe that these wounds will heal. One day there'll be scars that I can feel. Will I ever be enough? Will I ever feel loved? Feel close to giving up? Hey, hey, future me. I hope the things that hold me down will one day set you free. Hey, hey, future me. I hope the things that hold me down will one day set you free. Hey, hey, future me. Don't forget my trouble set you on the path to where you gotta be. To where you gotta be.
We extinguish the chalice, this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry with us in our hearts until we are together again. And now please rise as you are willing and able for our closing hymn, 151.
Start
We leave this gathered community, but we don't leave our connection, our concerns, our care for one another. Our service to each other, to the world, and to our faith continues. Until we are together again, friends, be strong, be well, be true, be loving. Go in peace.